everybody here. This is Robert Garcia, member of the Eric Stewart Group of Long and Foster, and I hope you are doing great. Well, today I have a very interesting article that I was able to get from Inman News. But before I go and dig deep into this article, I would like to ask you a huge favor. If you don't mind, ask like clicking there to subscribe and like my channel so that you can get content like these every week. Yes, every week I put content just like this that goes out so that you know what's happening out there in the real world. But let's now just go deep into this article to talk about this. Look at the headline. Pending home sales post a record drop as deals die and price cuts soar. It says this that in the month of October, close to 60,000 home purchases were canceled in that period of time of 30 days in October. So now if we remember what happened in October is that rumors of being in a recession or deflation, stagflation, and you remember all that terminology that was used to describe what the economy was going through, and the Federal Reserve still decided to increase interest rates by 75 basis points. So that's something that just happened over there. Although interest rates came down, and have a video right here that he talked about the interest rates that came down, but that's for a whole different thing that we'll talk later. But let's just look at what's happening. So in real estate, legally, what happens is you submit an offer on a property. If you are the buyer, you have received a commitment letter from your lender, a pre-qualification letter from your lender that has all the terms. You're going through all the contingencies, but all of a sudden, 60,000 buyers decided to say, not anymore. I'm sorry, we are not buying this house, which probably some of them put at risk their earnest money deposit, good faith deposit, EMD, however you call it, that puts them at risk. And some people probably lost some of the money if they had to cancel the contract outside of the time frame that is stipulated by the contract where there is no penalty. So, and it says this part right says pending sales declined a record 32.1% in October, the highest rates of decline since Redfin began tracking market activity in 2013. More than 17% or 60,000 deals fell through as rising mortgage rates and inflation pushed home buyers back to the sidelines in hopes for more friendly market conditions in the coming years. The Fed's actions to curb inflation are causing the economy market to slow at a pace not seen since the financial crisis. This is according to Redfin economist Chen Zhao. So let's look at the places that are taking the biggest hits right now. Okay, this is not necessarily saying it's happening here in Maryland, Washington, D.C., Northern Virginia. This is at a national level. Allentown, Pennsylvania, 54%. Greensboro, North Carolina, considered one of the hottest markets in the last 2 years, 50%. Honolulu, Hawaii, Salt Lake City, Jacksonville, Florida, took the biggest hit here when we look at this. So we have also Tampa, San Antonio, Atlanta, Las Vegas. Okay, affordable secondary markets seem to escape the worst buyer's fall or fallback, with pending sales declining in the McAllen, Texas, it's only 6%. Rochester, New York, 14%. Detroit, Michigan, 14%, and Buffalo, New York, 15%, and El Paso. So these other secondary markets, according to this article, did not have to go through this whole process. Okay, so medium home prices. Let's take a look right now. It is 397,000. This is a change of minus 1.4% month to month. It is 4.9% change over the previous year, same time around last year. Home sold seasonal adjusted 464,000. They lost about 3% on the month, but compared to last year, minus 26%. Pending home sales minus 32. New listings minus 24. So you are seeing all these data that is actually telling you that the market it's like being sick. A patient that it's sick, it's going through a lot of changes, and we don't know where things are now. If you look at it, the mortgages says back this around this time in October 6.9%. That's 0.79% higher month-to-month change. Remember, I said Federal Reserve increased by 75 basis points, but it is compared to last year around this time, you were paying 3.83% higher interest rates right now in October of 2022. No wonder a lot of people are doing that. So now let's think about the strategy. If some buyers actually decided to cancel their contracts where they are in a legal binding agreement, why do they decide to do that? So here's what it's probably going to be the wave of this that is going to happen, right? Like the ripple effect that when you throw a rock in the water. So what's going to happen here is a lot of these houses now have to the 60,000 contracts that were canceled. Now these sellers went back on the market for sale. Of course, a percentage of them may not achieve the sales price that they initially listed the house for as a consequence of this, and because a lot of buyers are going to be dropping, not buying a house maybe in the next 6 months to a year. So those sellers now, options are take the house off the market, keep it on the market at the same price, or make a price adjustment, right? Which is really happening because, as I said before, interest rates go up, prices have to come down a little bit. I'm not saying they're like dropping 50% in some cases, but there is a significant price adjustment. I would probably want to say that in some areas you'll see an adjustment of between 5 and 7% to the lowest, to the highest to close to 20%. These will vary depending on different market areas, different demographics, different incomes, and so on. So just for you to keep in mind that there is going to be a change. So what do you think what's going to happen in 2023? So here are the things that I am probably we're going to see. Number one, there is really very minimum incentive for some sellers to list their homes in 2023 because they are sitting on a 3% fixed rate on a 30-year loan, that there is no incentive for them to sell those properties. So that's one problem. Second problem we're going to see is that some buyers are completely out of the market because they can no longer afford these high prices with high interest rates. And then you're going to have a section of the buyers that will still go through conventional financing, FHA, VA, and there's going to be all kind of creative financing for people to qualify in order to buy a house, which can be tricky sometimes because that means you're forcing certain credentials and scenarios into people that maybe they don't want to go over, but that's just a whole different story. So with all that in mind is that I think it's going to be a bumpy ride. Now, what about the people with cash? People with cash will continue to buy. But as far as I know, people with cash, especially in this kind of market, don't pay full price. They are probably, I'm not insulting anybody, I'm just saying that the tendency will be that they will not pay full price and they will probably want to try to bring down the price as much as I can. Now, once a house in a neighborhood sells for $50,000 less, that becomes a comparable for other homes that will come on the market. So there definitely has to be an adjustment that will follow on other homes. But there's one thing here is that inventory is not what it needs to be. If we go back to 2008, when we had the market crash or meltdown, that inventory was a lot higher. I'm going to speak for Montgomery County, Maryland. We probably had about 6 months worth of inventory. Right now, as I am doing this video in November of 2022, we probably only have under 2 months of inventory. I would probably say more like 5 weeks of inventory, which is really changing things dramatically for everybody. So there's going to be certain houses, neighborhoods, pockets, school districts where homes are going to have high demand, and you can potentially see multiple offer scenario, not 20 offers, 2 or 3 offers. Now, what it all means this for buyers. Buyers, this is a great opportunity to look at your finances, look at your numbers. The benefit is there's no more competing offers in certain areas. That is definitely, you can put back your appraisals, your home inspections, financing contingencies. All those things can be put back into perspective now as you are presenting an offer. So that's definitely a big plus for a lot of the buyers that felt that they've just been pushed left and right to make it all happen. So all that to say is what is happening right now. I think the market will continue to be very healthy. It's going to get bumpy, but it's going to be healthy. I don't think that we are going to see a wave of foreclosures and short sales like a lot of people are saying. going back to a 6% interest rate or 7% interest rate, it's kind of like the normal. I think what we saw before was just 3%ers, where it was not really the normal. And that was just an effort to not let the housing market take a huge hit because of COVID. But people are still using credit cards and they're paying high interest rates. People are still buying cars and they're paying high interest rates. So people are still doing things. So houses are not going to be the exception. There's going to be death in the family. There's going to be born of new kids in a family. There's going to be so many things that are going to happen that it will really take an opportunity for people to consider the move. Enough to say that. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to inform you. This is not about sales pressure. This is just pure education. And before I say goodbye, I would like to encourage you, if you're considering a move to Maryland, to download my guide right here, fresh, brand new guide that you can download. They'll tell you the good, the bad, and ugly about Maryland, including our beautiful and delicious crabs. But yes, we're very famous for our crabs, blue crabs. So thank you very much. Remember, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll bring more videos like this. I'll see you on the next video, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.